evening. My name's Marion Timms, for those of you that don't know me, and for those of you that do know me, hi. I'm going to be going through the facelift massage routine, which is adapted from the one that I do on my clients. So it's bits and pieces that I've brought together to get your glow on for the week ahead. So who isn't it suitable for? It's not suitable if you have a tooth infection or an ear infection, whether you have any trigeminal nerve damage, because that will aggravate it. It's not suitable if you're under the influence of alcohol or recreational drugs, because you may have had a tipple earlier. It's also not suitable if you're unwell and you've got a temperature. Okay, who is it suitable for? Anybody really that wants to get their glow on. What it does is it's a completely different technique to massage, where in massage we're taught to constantly keep hold with the client and the flow goes. But with this, every single move is a separate lifting move. So it's quite labour intensive. I see I've got two people watching. I can't see who's watching at the moment. This particular StreamYard doesn't tell me. However, the first thing we're going to do is sanitise our hands. I hope you've got your headband on. I'll just do this while a couple more people come on. Okay, so the other thing it can do is it improves skin tone and elasticity. It helps to relieve eye strain, headaches and insomnia. It's great for the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the skin, and it increases the blood and lymphatic circulation. It tones and firms the muscles as well. At the beginning, when I started doing this at the beginning of lockdown, I said if you've recently had Botox or fillers, it's not suitable because it will disperse it. However, I think we've been in lockdown long enough now that it's not going to have an adverse effect on your fillers or your Botox. So I've sanitized my hands. I'm now rubbing them together, and I'm just going to place them over my hands, face like this, just to warm up the tissues that I'm going to work with. Okay, and then we're going to start what I call the J action, which is a very light action. So if you imagine the letter J with the stem of it and then the kick out, we're going to start like that, and you lift between every move. You don't drag it, you come across and lift, come across and lift, come across and lift, come across and lift. And you should, I can already feel that having an effect. Now this will be recorded, so if anybody has missed it and wanted to catch the very beginning, then they can tune in on replay. So I can really feel that already. It's just a very sort of light, I'm going in a bit. Normally if I was doing this to you, I would do a very light once around the face, and then I'd go in and do it a bit heavier, just to wake those muscles up. Already feels amazing. And I'd like to thank those of you who are joining me, because it actually encourages me to do some self-care as well. And self-care is very important. If we don't look after ourselves, as I have learnt to my detriment, we are no good to anybody else. So it actually makes me stop for 20 minutes on a Sunday evening and do this. Okay, so how's that feeling? My face is glowing, it's pulsating already. So now we're going to move on to the ironing or the aircraft go around. So I'm going to work the left-hand side of the face first. So I'm going to be anchoring the pads of 3 fingers here. Can't look in the camera and do it again. Anchor it there and lift. And then using the outside edge of my thumb, I'm going to come in as though I was an aircraft coming into land. And then I have to abort because I can't land, and I come up. So it's a really sort of chunk like that. It's a very swift movement. So then I move across here, and I just divide each side of the forehead into about 6 sections. So there we go. And then I swap hands on the same side, use the pads of my right hand, and using the outside edge of this thumb. Okay, can't look in the camera, I'll go it all wrong. Okay, so then I'm coming into land, and I'm aborting and taking off again, like that. And then I'm moving slightly further down. Press your foot pads in, lift the skin lightly, and then come in and do your aircraft landing. So you're getting a lift. That feels amazing already. Okay, how are we doing, guys? Right, so now I'm going to use the pads of the left hand to work to lift the right hand side here, and I'm going to come in like that, working my way up the forehead. Do you like my Midland accent there? Up the forehead. That was 8 sections, but never mind. And then changing hands, the pads, tips of the right fingers to place, lift and glide, moving across and up. I'm doing this fairly quickly because you can catch it on replay. I didn't do a watch party, I suppose. But I know that everybody's probably got lots of things to do on a Sunday evening. So that's, can you see it's already quite red, and it feels really good. So you could just do a light potement there. Raindrops all over the forehead. It's like drumming. You can hear it drumming. Okay, like that. Okay, so I'm now going to work the eyebrows. And in facial reflexology, this here is the neck and these are the shoulders. So I'm the pad of the index finger and the pad of the thumbs, just going to come in here where the eyebrows are and gently squeeze. Now, if you've got tension in your shoulders, this can feel quite uncomfortable. So you gently squeeze. This is one of the moves I do in facial reflexology. And it just can be incredibly painful if you've got tension in your shoulders, your upper arms and your triceps, your biceps moving down to your forearm. Your elbow is probably about here, also corresponds to the knee as well. So we do that another couple of times. Just gently squeeze like that. Okay. As I say, I'm not doing the whole, I can't possibly do the whole routine on myself because I haven't got rubber arms. If anybody wants to have the whole routine, and they can come to me after lockdown. Okay, that feels amazing. So now I'm going to do what I call the ski jump. So this is my right hand, and I'm bringing it round to my left eye to anchor about here. And I'm just literally going to go along the bone up there as though I was going down a ski jump. So very lightly, just like that. 3 times. Okay, and then come around the other side, anchor, ski. And I brought my finger off. I released the pressure last time, but I'll actually show you. You lift it off, you place and ski, lift off, place and ski up the nose. Okay, wow, okay. So now we're going to do what I call the Nike tick, or my friend Alison Butler, I don't know if she's watching, but she nicknamed this one the Nike tick. So we've worked the forehead. We're now going to move down here. So I'm going to do the right hand side of the face this time. So placing, I'm going to work along here in lines, moving down like that to just above the jawline, on the jawline and just under the jawline. So I'm covering all the areas. So to start with, you place the pad of your index finger of your right hand on your cheekbone. Using the pad of the left index finger, you come underneath and you do like a Nike tick. If you imagine the Nike tick. So what I've done is I've placed, I've lifted, and I'm coming underneath and ticking. Then I come along here, lift, do my Nike tick. I can't look at it, haven't learnt to do it and look in the camera. And like that. Crikey, that's amazing. So then I work slightly further down, place the pad of the index finger there, come lift, come underneath and do your Nike tick and work your way along so that you cover a good portion of the face. Okay, just work your way down. One of my ladies said that she does it just before bed and it's really relaxing, and it is, because if you think about it, any massage is really relaxing just before bed. And I do encourage you to drink plenty of water after this. If you're going to have a Sunday night tipple, then do match it with an equal amount of water, preferably no tipple after this, but if you wish to, that's your choice. Okay, and I'm just above the jawline now. Lift and tick and tick. And you should start feeling that your face is glowing. I mean, if anybody has unfortunately burnt their face today in the sun, then this isn't suitable. And I'm just going to go under right on there now. Lift. Mind you, you wouldn't have a massage if you were sunburned either, so you wouldn't do this if you'd sunburned. I tell you something that's really good for sunburn, turning it red from red to brown overnight, is the Neil Jard Wild Rose Beauty Balm. It's phenomenal. I caught the sun on the back of my legs the other day and I plopped some on it overnight and it was brown the next morning. It was amazing. I'm sure there's lots of other things out there that do that. So I've covered all of there from down here. So check in with how you're feeling. And yeah, this side definitely feels different to this side. So now we're going to go around to the left-hand side using the pad of the left index finger just to anchor and lift. Using the pad of the right index finger, this is the left-hand side of the face now. We come underneath and we do the Nike tick, working our way along the cheekbone towards the nose, like this. Like anything, I would normally recommend a course of these because one-off anything doesn't really give you a long-term fix. And like anything, it's repetition and consistency. So for those of you who've perhaps come in a little bit later than the very start, you can catch it in replay. And I'd like to thank you for joining me because it's encouraged me to do some nice self-care last thing on a Sunday evening to get my face, get my glow on for the week. Okay, so now I'm just here. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, so I've covered that. Whew. Right. So now we do a bit of tapotment. Raindrops, very light with the pads of the fingers like that. Just imagine you're lying on my couch and you've got gentle music playing, or silence, whichever you prefer. You're all relaxed and we're doing this. Okay. All over. Okay, and then using the pads of your middle fingers, or whichever is your preferred finger, we're just going to do some light lifting like this all the way up the face, over the cheeks, up the temporalis, across the forehead, frontalis, and then on the other side. One side's always easier to do than the other. It's like your hair, isn't it? You can blow dry one side, but trying to do the other side is almost impossible. Okay, cat-handed this side. Okay, up the temporalis, across the forehead. Okay, now before we do some nice gentle lymphatic drainage, crikey, look at that. I hope your skin is as glowing as mine is. I'm going to do some extra facial reflexology points for you. So at the moment, a lot of people are suffering with hay fever, which can be affecting their sinuses. And in fact, this can help as well, this move that we did here. But also, there's a really good drainage point here. So using the pads of your middle fingers, if you imagine either side of your nose here, if you go in and then lift and hold, what an attractive, lovely. Okay. And just take some deep breaths and then release, and then again come in sort of just either side of the nostril, in horizontally and press up and hold. And then you can just literally, this is the diaphragm in facial reflexology, so you can just gently under the cheekbones here just drain like that towards the ears. Okay, and then if you're having trouble sleeping as well, in facial reflexology, from the tip of the nose up here is the spine reflex. So I remember when my kids were little, and I did just intuitively used to stroke their nose like this. Okay, I might have been a weird mum, but it was just something I did. Now this is actually relaxing all the nerves along the spine. Okay, so if you do it a few times, if you were having trouble sleeping, if you have been following my sleep tips and they're not working, this is something else you could try. And again, if they're not working, then we really do need to have a chat about what we can do next to help you. Sleep is so important. Okay, so we just do that. Okay, so we're now going to do some gentle draining along the chin, up to the ears. Okay, like that. Very, very lightly, like a little caress. Okay, and bring your hands like this and down and just upwards. Okay. And that feels great, and I feel very relaxed. So now I'm just going to take this off, delightful, and we're going to do a little bit of head massage, which you would normally get at the end. So if you imagine that you're shampooing your hair, you're using the pads of your fingers and you're just basically massaging all over the head and making a complete mess of your hair. It doesn't matter because this is self-care. We can always go and sort that out. Okay, all over. And then one that I really love is you get three fingers and you fix them, and then you sort of do that really roughly. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, like that, and you do it all over the skull. It's absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, just relieves the tension in the head. Okay, and we'll go down the other side. So it's sort of like a, that's it. Just imagine you're really rubbing that shampoo in. You're not doing circular movements, you're doing friction all over the head. You can do both of them. Oh, I've got some stiff bits there. And then we can just end with a tapotement all over, tapping, drumming, if you want to call it, all over the skull. And then gentle stroking. Okay. And then some other reflexology moves. Solar plexus. Can't really see it to position it. Solar plexus is around here. On the face, it's in various positions, but if you look in the middle of the ear, it's about there and about there. So if you gently press with the pads of your index finger and take some deep breaths and rotate, or you can either rotate it gently in a circle, doesn't matter which way, or you can pulsate it gently in and out. And that's a really calming reflexology move, and I incorporate that a lot in facial reflexology. As I said, it is very important to drink water after this because it increases the waste removal. So it's important that you do drink some water, or you're going to have a walloping headache tomorrow, almost certainly. And you would think that just having done it for 20 minutes, well, it's 18 minutes actually, it wouldn't have an effect, but it will have an effect. So that's the routine. I haven't included the facial yoga because that's Jenya's speciality. And if anybody wants to know about that, they can contact her. But something that we can do for stretching here, which I did, was it's a hilariously funny move. So you open your mouth, tilt your head back, and then you close your jaw. So you open and you feel that stretch all up there. And bring it back down, and you don't throw your head back because if you've got any neck problems you'll make them worse. So open and hold. So I hope that that's rejuvenated your face for the week ahead, and I'll be going through this every week. Hazel, hi, this is lovely. Vicky, wonderful. Dean, John, hello. Dean, great. Are you doing it for Natalie? Thank you for watching. If anybody's got any questions, or they know anybody that is struggling with sleep, I can't do this for people at the moment. I could guide them through it. I can teach them a few tricks for reflexology, and also I've got all sorts of products up my sleeve which are helping, amazing magnetic products that are helping people sleep. So thank you for joining me. Go and get a glass of water. I hope you're all glowing and feeling amazing and that you sleep well tonight. I'm doing it for me. Oh, rock on, ace. So I'd said bearded people, that sensation of doing it over the beard, because I think Dean's still got a beard, it's quite, as a therapist doing it, it's quite abrasive. So your hands get quite sore doing it over a beard. But if Dean's doing it for himself, that's absolutely fine. Kelly, great, that was amazing. Tune in same time next week, and we can go through it again. And it just makes me do some self-care. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Take care. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.